Welcome to part 2 in my series on troubleshooting a rotational front end humming noise in this GL450. Part 1, we talked about things that could cause that noise. I did some troubleshooting and I determined that it was the big bearing right here. This was what was making a whining humming noise at 30 to 40 miles an hour. So I said to myself, okay, let's change this front end bearing. Well, guess what? It's a little bit different than a lot of bearings out there. In fact, it's bigger. And I quickly found that out when I bought this bearing press tool. These are all over the place. And there's probably a couple hundred videos on YouTube showing you how to press the bearing out of a knuckle and press the new one back in. Well, I got this tool set and then I go, well, you're going to have a big sleeve in order to push the bearing out. And for this first generation X164 GLs, the bearing's too big. All of these sleeve press tools, the biggest sleeve is not big enough. Okay, so I went to work and look what I came up with. I made from pipe a sleeve big enough that would allow me to push this bearing out of the knuckle, and this worked great. I had to have a big plate in the back to support it, and I did a whole video. It's about a half hour long. I'm not going to show it here, but I'll include it in the parts that I will make available to you if any of you want to do this on your own GL. Okay, you're going to need this right here and this plate, and you'll be able to use everything else that you can get in one of these kits on Amazon. And I actually show you in my video how you can use these different plates and bushings and bolts and whatever. And some of the tips that you're going to need to do this. This is not an easy job. I do not recommend this as a beginner DIY job either. Your other option, of course, you could take the car in to a shop and have them replace it, or you can remove the knuckle from the car, take it into a shop and have them use a hydraulic press to press the old bearing out and put the new bearing. I just got back from a test drive. I'm so happy the noise is gone. I also decided to replace the axle because that was suspect, and I replaced the seal in at the forward differential. Now, I did run into a couple other challenges that you're going to have to be aware of. Number one, you're going to have to pull the hub out before you can pull the bearing out, and that hub is really pressed in there tight. You see all these videos of people using slide hammers, you know. Man, that's hard on the shoulder at my age. So I decided, hey, maybe there's a better way. And I came up with a better way to get that hub out by using these long metric bolts right here. And in the video, I will show you how to use these bolts to just screw them in and just pull that hub right out of the bearing. So anybody out there that wants to do this on their own GL, I'll make these bolts available and I'll make this plate in this big sleeve available on my website, along with complete instructions. But you'll have to go out and buy your own sleeve bearing press tool that you see here. These are readily available anywhere from $50 to $75. I should mention I ran into a couple other challenges. Number one, you have to get the hub out of the center of the bearing before you can get the bearing out of the knuckle. Well, guess what? That hub goes right down in the center and it's pressed in as hard as the bearing is pressed to the knuckle. Now you see all these videos over YouTube where people are using slide hammers trying to bang this out. I did discover that you can pull this hub out with some special bolts. And these are the special bolts I use. They're metric thread. You can use these to just kind of pull the hub right out of the center of the bearing. The other problem is when you pull the bearing out, this race is going to be stuck on the hub, and you're going to need to get this off. Now, there's a couple ways you can get this off. If you have a bearing puller and can get on the back side, you can pull this off with a bearing puller. I've seen people on YouTube use, a cutoff wheel to cut this off. Well, if you're going to do that, be very careful you don't cut into the hub. And you can also use heat. If you got a torch and can heat this race up, then you can get in behind and pry and tap it off of the hub. So you'll have a challenge getting this race off. It will always come off with the hub when you remove the hub from the bearing. So what I'm going to do is I will have complete 30-minute video instructions on how to get the hub out, get the bearing out, get the bearing back in, and get the hub back in using this and these parts here. And then I will also offer these bolts for anybody who wants to try to get the hub out without wrecking their shoulder. So I'll put some links in the show more below this video that'll take you to these parts if you want to do this job yourself.